Justin Baldoni and his PR team are facing horrific death threats and private health leaks as legal battle with Blake Lively rages on.
Poor crazed fans of Ryan and Blake are out there trying to extort and harm people and do this horrific stuff.
The words "next fire will start from the inside" weren't just a threat, they were a terrifying promise delivered after arson. Justin Baldoni's billionaire business partner, Steve Sarowitz, faced a horrific fiery attack on his Highland Park driveway, loaded with accelerants and paint cans. This wasn't merely vandalism, it was a brazen $80,000 extortion attempt, explicitly threatening his daughter, messages detailing her college sorority, and even predicting she won't make it to graduation followed, escalating a civil dispute into a criminal nightmare. Investigators are now scrutinizing the chilling fact that these attacks began immediately after Blake Lively's legal team filed documents, hinting at a far darker conspiracy than anyone initially imagined. The silence from one side is deafening, while the other lives in terror.
Evilest people in the world, terroristically. Your Blake Lively campaign is on par with something you expect from, my idiot. Realize, this is sick.
Steve Sarowitz, the visionary co-founder of Wayfair and Justin Baldoni's business partner, became the direct target of this campaign of terror. His home, valued at $1.8 million, was attacked and his family plunged into a terrifying kidnapping plot. This wasn't just a rich man's problem, it jeopardized his philanthropic endeavors. The Wayfair Foundation, an organization dedicated to funding diverse, community-driven films, has now tragically folded due to the extreme security risks. A billionaire who simply wanted to fund movies is now plastered all over FBI files. A victim of relentless, targeted aggression, his world dedicated to positive change has been irrevocably shattered by these escalating threats.
PR team is facing horrific threats. And even worse, his business partner, Steve Sarowitz, just faced this crazy person who committed arson and tried to extort the family by kidnapping his...
The individual behind the arson and extortion plot was identified as Eduardo Aragon, a 25-year-old man caught on surveillance using public library Wi-Fi to dispatch his chilling threats. This Dollar Tree Bond villain with zero stamina confessed everything upon arrest, now facing charges for arson and 6 counts of intimidation and harassment. The sheer audacity of plotting felony kidnapping and arson from a public library near children's reading corners is truly astounding. Aragon admitted he needed the money, yet his actions triggered a federal investigation spanning state lines, not just a local police report. This seemingly small-time criminal had an impact that reverberated far beyond his intentions.
I want to give you some updates on what's happening on Justin's side of things, because look, Blake's been out there saying, oh, I have these horrible DMs I'm getting. It doesn't sound like it's as bad.
The timing of Eduardo Aragon's reign of terror is the most damning piece of the puzzle. His attacks commenced immediately after Blake Lively's legal team filed their initial court documents. Not days, not weeks, but precisely in sync. Investigators are not overlooking this critical detail, and legal experts are openly discussing the possibility of criminal conspiracy charges if a direct link between these threats and Blake Lively's team is established. This isn't dismissed as mere happenstance. It suggests a terrifying, calculated escalation that moved from legal maneuvering to criminal activity, drawing the keen attention of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The implications are enormous.
To Daily Mail that Baldoni and several employees at the agency group set up by Melissa Nathan, had been hit with death threats in the wake of the lawsuit.
This celebrity spat rapidly spiraled into a full-blown criminal investigation, forcing the Federal Bureau of Investigation, not just PR consultants, to intervene. The case transcended California borders, infecting multiple states like a viral disease. We're no longer talking about online drama. This involves arson, extortion, and cyber harassment, warranting a full-scale manhunt. Authorities in conjunction with local police meticulously tracked Eduardo Aragon, the confessed culprit. The FBI's continued involvement and the promise of more subpoenas on the way indicate that this complex web of terror is far from fully untangled, pointing to deeper connections and consequences.
Documents filed by Lively's legal team also included addresses of several of the publicists involved in the scathing battle, leaving them fearful.
Blake Lively, who has publicly vocalized her desire for privacy, allegedly had zero problem exposing the exact home addresses of PR employees connected to Justin Baldoni within her court filings. This alleged ruthless tactic was a direct violation of their personal safety and security. Melissa Nathan and Janelle, two PR professionals, suddenly found their private information dumped into public records, as if they were Yelp reviews for harassment. The terrifying aftermath saw these women forced to install actual security gates around their homes, transforming their residences into virtual fortresses. Their lives changed in an instant, forever shadowed by fear.
And autographs, living her life, living her best life. And meanwhile, Justin and team are facing horrible consequences. Now, I want to start here because Justin's business partner, Steve Sarowitz, the billionaire who funded Wayfair, which, by the way, important to also note that Wayfair, the foundation, has now folded, as we previously reported.
The consequences of this doxing extended beyond mere privacy invasion, unleashing genuine visceral fear into people's daily lives. One of the targeted women, a mother caring for two toddlers under the age of 4, now lives in constant paralyzing dread. This wasn't about someone being mean online. This was real can't leave the house fear. Blake Lively's legal documents reportedly didn't just name individuals. They exposed their families and children to unimaginable danger. Imagine having to inform your child's school about active death threats, a direct consequence of a Hollywood actress's legal actions. The emotional toll is immeasurable.
Prosecutors say the suspect committed arson at the billionaire family's home in Highland Park. He then threatened to kidnap the daughter if they did not provide him $80,000.
Jed Wallace, a 51-year-old PR fixer, found himself inexplicably dragged into this chaotic saga. Blake Lively's team painted him as a villain in their fantasy script, accusing him of weaponizing digital armies, yet he was never even properly served with legal papers. Shockingly, his private health information was allegedly leaked during the legal proceedings, leading to him being hospitalized with a heart condition. Later, he was unceremoniously dropped from the case like a typo. But the damage was already done. His name was public, his career took a direct hit, and his health suffered, all for a baseless accusation that ultimately evaporated.
We will take your daughter's name, and she won't make it to graduation. At that point, we will ask for more money.
The escalating chaos reached a horrifying new low, veering into federal hate crime territory. An email, laced with anti-Semitic sewage, explicitly targeted Justin Baldoni's team, labeling them Zionist Israeli Jews and accusing them of acting as terrorists. This was not just harassment, it was a deeply disturbing display of vile, bigoted prejudice, weaponized within death threats. Someone's personal hatred was packaged into menacing language and sent like a twisted Hallmark card, all reportedly under the cozy umbrella of the fan-based frenzy stirred by Blake Lively's actions. This added a sickening, truly unforgivable dimension to the unfolding nightmare.
Fire in the driveway at the house around 3:25 a.m. on April 28th. It was filled with paint cans and other flammable accelerants, and it burned to the ground.
And these
While felony-level chaos engulfed her alleged victims, Blake Lively projected an image of serene composure, smiling on red carpets and accepting civil rights awards. Her PR halo, once flawless, is now absolutely fried, yet she continues to appear as if nothing has happened. She's seen flashing teeth and designer gowns, collecting accolades like she freed Nelson Mandela with a mascara brush. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's team is literally dodging threats and upgrading home security systems, reminiscent of preparing for an apocalyptic event. The stark contrast between her curated public image and the alleged destruction she left in her wake is profoundly unsettling.
Spent 100 million to ruin the lives of Miss Lively and her family. We are sure you can spare a few for your...
Even Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively's husband, became a part of this bizarre narrative. He continued producing his Father of the Year sketch comedy skits, staging perfectly timed phone calls from his young daughter during corporate events, seemingly oblivious to the escalating crisis. This performance unfolded while his wife's legal maneuvers allegedly doxed publicists and unleashed death threats against their families. Adding another layer of intrigue, both Blake and Ryan were reportedly on the guest list for infamous P. Diddy parties, now shrouded in legal scrutiny. The juxtaposition of their glittering public life against the terror faced by others is deeply disturbing.
What? This is insane. This is insane what this is now all caused. All because he called you sexy? All because of... the dumbest stuff on earth? Because you got some bad...
The devastating collateral damage extends to Wayfarer Studios and the Wayfarer Foundation. These organizations, both vital to Justin Baldoni's work and dedicated to funding diverse community-driven films, are now defunct. They were torched not by fire, but by Blake's smear tactics dressed up in legal jargon. These were not shadowy entities, they were actively helping people, fostering artistic growth and social change. Yet this charitable effort was allegedly dismantled because it might have made Blake look like the bad guy. The cost of this personal vendetta transcends individuals, impacting an entire ecosystem dedicated to meaningful positive impact.
This is the only hope that Stu is treat you like scum, flesh-eating, vile creature that you are and cancel you. This person should be ashamed of themselves. And I'm sure they know who they are. Sure they're seeing.
Even the TikTok algorithm appeared to respond to the controversy in peculiar ways. Content creators reported their audio vanishing or entire clips glitching the moment they mentioned Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds. Videos were mysteriously demonetized, and views choked faster than a PR scandal at an award show. Any content even remotely critical allegedly received an immediate algorithmic penalty. This raises serious questions about biased content moderation and potential influence over public discourse, suggesting a powerful, unseen hand manipulating digital narratives to control the flow of information surrounding the unfolding drama.
With one crisis PR boss allegedly having his private health information leaked. Okay, so are they...
The threats were terrifyingly specific, not just vague ramblings. One message, chillingly titled, "It Ends With You," was sent directly to Steve Sorowitz's daughter. It contains stark references to fire starting from the inside, a direct echo of the actual arson attack on their driveway just days prior. This wasn't random online trolling. These psychos weren't subtle. They were synchronized with real-world events. The messages chillingly warned, no one is untouchable, promising to bypass all security measures. This level of synchronized, targeted obsession points to sophisticated terrorism, designed to instill maximum psychological distress and fear.
And for what?
See, the damages are all on the side of the victim here. Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, Melissa Nathan, Jennifer Abel, Steve Sarowitz, everyone on that side, and their friends and families, and everyone who worked at Wayfair are suffering, while the elitists, while the golden goose, the people who are...
Further amplifying the psychological terror, the anonymous threats often contained bizarre cult-like gibberish. Phrases such as, "We are clothed in black," and declarations of being above every government emerged, leaving recipients baffled and deeply unsettled. Who do they think they are? Sith Lords? Illuminati interns? One source wondered. This strange, cryptic language, intertwined with explicit death threats, suggested a more organized, shadowy group than mere disgruntled individuals. It heightened the fear of a coordinated campaign, deepening the anxiety and making the threats feel even more pervasive and inescapable to Baldoni's team and their families.
What they're doing to private people through their actions has caused despicable situations. Look at this. They'll bury you. Dear Tag, this is a message from Melissa. We can bury anybody.
At the heart of Blake Lively's alleged strategy was a masterful performance of victimhood. She reportedly played this role while dragging families through hell, using the courts like a personal diary, and dismissing the resulting backlash as mere trolls being mean. This narrative, however, collapses under the weight of FBI-tier fallout, federal criminal investigations, and careers utterly destroyed. Her Barbie mask is splitting, revealing a wrecking ball in heels hidden behind the meticulously curated selfies and red carpet smiles. This isn't empowerment, it's exposure, and no publicist or stylist on earth has the ability to conceal that profound truth any longer.
Informed him at the center was the person who left the president outside with another message. Obviously, at this point, the FBI got involved, and they used the technology and what warrants to isolate the sender, and that's where they were able to find the person, the alleged person, Eduardo Aragon of High.
This wasn't a celebrity squabble or an exchange of mean tweets. It was a precision attack launched with lipstick and litigation, a calculated demolition. Blake Lively allegedly smeared reputations, endangered families, and then conspicuously hid behind a red carpet smile. Her fan base, reportedly fueled by these actions, unleashed a wave of bile that triggered the feds. Now, as the full extent of the chaos boils over, she attempts to act as if her hands are clean. However, the evidence suggests otherwise. Honey, they're not clean. They're radioactive, leaving an indelible mark on all involved.
Then another one on Thursday, identifying her college and the address of her sorority house. Terrifying stuff. Okay, Miss Honor Roll, we all know you're at blank. You guys are not untouchable. You can upgrade your security all you want, and that still won't stop.
Justin Baldoni, once a Hollywood actor simply wanting to release a movie and promote awareness, has reportedly gone full off-grid Hawaii mode. He's described as checking bushes for drones, effectively dodging bounty hunters instead of preparing for a press tour. This is the stark, terrifying reality of Blake Lively's legal tantrum. It transformed an actor into a fugitive from his own reputation. The dreams of launching meaningful projects are now eclipsed by a desperate need for personal safety, a profound and tragic consequence of a situation that spiraled wildly out of control, forcing him into hiding.
Clothed in black. Some of the directors may know what that means. Before you go attacking good people like Blake, be sure of this. There are no secrets to those of us clothed in the darkest black of night. Do not know. What?
Amidst all the unfolding chaos, there's a striking absence of actual proof for Blake Lively's initial allegations or her claimed damages. While Justin Baldoni's team faces real death threats, trauma, and felony-level investigations, Blake is seen jet-setting to premieres, autographs, interviews, seemingly applauded by the media. The horrible DMs she reportedly claimed to receive don't seem to justify the felony-level harassment endured by the other side. This critical imbalance of evidence raises significant questions about the true genesis and proportionality of this entire disaster, leaving many to wonder about the initial spark.
You're prepared to ruin all of your lives over a little bit of money. The next fire we start will be from the inside. Can you imagine how terrible?
Despite the FBI's direct involvement and clear criminal acts, the media continues its persistent efforts to paint Blake Lively as the innocent one. Is it simply because she's good at smiling? Or because she wore a pantsuit and dropped the word empowerment in an interview? This narrative stubbornly ignores the scorched lives left in her wake. It actively promotes a story of her bravery, while the very people her team allegedly endangered are forced to construct literal security gates around their homes. This complicity in shaping a misleading public image is a profound disservice to the objective truth and justice.
That same day, we gave you guys time to consider our offer. Remember, no one is untouchable, not even you guys. You can have someone posted at night. You can leave the lights on. You can upgrade your security, but we will still get.
In a staggering display of irony, while Blake Lively vehemently demanded privacy for herself and her family, her legal team was allegedly busy leaking private health records within court filings. This wasn't merely rumors or tweets, it was medical, personal, confidential information exposed for all to see. This represents the ultimate hypocrisy, claiming the moral high ground on privacy while using a legally filed scalpel to dissect and tear apart people's lives with their most sensitive data. She now acts with amnesia, pretending ignorance of club catastrophe after allegedly contributing to its very existence. The double standard is impossible to ignore.
For millions, just $80,000. That's nothing to you people. The message said, we can do this the easy way and nobody has to know. All you guys have to do is drop off the money at a public location and disappear. Simple as that. If you'd like to go against us, then so be it. We will not stop. I mean, God, this guy's a moron.
This entire disaster snowballed because Blake Lively allegedly chose to escalate a civil lawsuit using tactics that belong in a dystopian novel. She metaphorically cracked open Pandora's box and now reportedly acts shocked that demons came out. The initial dumbest stuff on earth, a man calling her sexy in a TikTok interview, was allegedly met with an all-out war disguised as victimhood. This chilling response illustrates a powerful individual's readiness to use immense resources to silence even the slightest perceived slight, unleashing a maelstrom of chaos far beyond any reasonable or ethical control.
Of Highland Park, who was seen on surveillance video coming to the library using the Wi-Fi. He then confessed to being the one that started the fire on the property. He admitted to going there, etc., etc. He'd been out of work and needed the money. He was charged with 1 count of arson, 6 counts of intimidation, 1 count of...
The truth, despite meticulously curated Instagram grids and zealous media appeasement, always finds a way to surface. The cracks in Blake Lively's carefully constructed facade are now gaping chasms, revealing the rot underneath for all to see. This wasn't a mere bad headline or fleeting mean tweets. This was FBI-tier fallout involving full-blown criminal investigations, arson, and shattered careers. Her Barbie mask is splitting, and the PR glitter is wearing off. What remains isn't empowerment, it's stark exposure, and no stylist or publicist on earth possesses the power to fix that ultimate truth.